Now I'm going to sing a song for you. I look at this whole table and I see... Sing a song? Changhua forever. I feel funny, I don't know what to say. There were so many things I thought about coming here and seeing all my friends again and all the people that supported us for the years. And it was really just, you know what, but I think God is in the internet. This is how we found John and John found us. And I had always had this longing for China in my heart, always. And it started when I was at McGill University, where my mother insisted I should go. It's a very good university. This is in Montreal. Now, when I was in McGill, I heard about this man. His name was Bethune, and you call him Betuin. And he was from Montreal, he was a doctor, and he was a little bit crazy. But he was a socialist, he was a communist in his heart. He believed in all of this very much. And he dedicated himself. And first he went to Spain during the Spanish Civil War, and he was a doctor there, and he was in very bad situations when they bombed Barcelona, and he survived and came back to Canada. And then he heard about the revolution in China. And he was a committed socialist. He believed in this, and so China was a great experiment for him. And he decided that there was a terrible war with Japan, and many Chinese boys were killed and slaughtered. It was a terrible situation, and he decided that he should go there to China and commit, which he did. And he went to the far west where the war was going on, and he was an amazingly strong man. He believed so much that he broke the record. I think he operated on 600 young Chinese soldiers that were injured over a period of 3 days without sleeping. And they insisted that he shouldn't sleep, but he said, no, I must. And he did, and he dedicated himself. And while he was working, he had medical gloves to protect himself, but they ran out of the gloves. But he kept operating. And by mistake, he was operating on a young soldier. He cut his finger. And that boy had a blood disease, septicemia, and he got that blood disease. And though he was sick, he kept working until he died. And so this is a man who dedicated his life to something that mattered so much. And I took great knowledge from this, that you must dedicate yourself to something. And when I had the opportunity, when we met on the internet, and I knew that China was the most important place coming in the future because of the WTO and China becoming now part of the World Trade Organization. It was right then and there that we decided that we needed to find a contact in China and to go. We had no contacts. All the contacts we had were through Taiwan. And Taiwan was not in China, so they didn't have any contacts. And one day, because of the internet, John was on the internet and we met. That's how we met. In the year, I think it was 2000, 1999, 2000. And because of that, I came to China. And we met, and we didn't even know each other. This picture that you have up here was from, I had been here before, and then I brought some people from Canada with me, and they were very important. They're still your very important customer. And May Trading became your customer, and so I always said that May Trading will be your first customer. You'll always remember that. And I think John honors this today and is telling me that that is true, that that is the way it was, and the way it will always be. So there's a connection in business, there's a connection in our minds with each other, but truthfully, it's in our heart. And that's how I think Chinese people are too. We connect in many ways, but in the end of the day, for it to last this long, there's a connection in your heart that you will always give an opportunity. You will always make the first effort to work together and not consider the entire world as a playground to monkey around in. We don't jump. We're not bed hoppers. So, and I think that's proven that we were able to develop textiles that are special, very special. And we knew right away that textiles were the key into garment making. And everything we do today is still like that, still technical minded. This came from my father, and this is where I learned it all. And he came here right at the beginning, and John was working for China Jiangsu. You're right, but it was a little office in Zhangjiagang. And so we came to see John with my father, and he said, we were talking, and the boss was very arrogant. He was not a nice person. And John didn't have a chair. His chair broke. And the boss wouldn't buy a chair for John. So my father said, what do you mean? You must have, as an employee, a pen, paper, a desk, and a chair. You have to have a chair. You can't stand and write. This was crazy to my father. So he said, John, come with me. We're going to buy a chair. This is the first time John ever met my father. We went to a store in Zhangjiagang and bought a chair. It was a nice chair, brought it back. And then my father said, now we go to Nanjing. I said, why? He said, well, this company, China Jiangsu Textile Company, the head office is in Nanjing, and I know those people. They came to Canada, and I'm going to go there and tell them what's going on in this office. So we went to Nanjing, and we met the director. I was so impressed. My father knew the boss, the big boss of China Jiangsu, and he embraced my father, and then my father told the story. You have an office in Zhangjiagang. He said, yes, a small office. Well, you have a person there running that office. They said, he mentioned the name. And yes, but he has an employee. Now, let me ask you, he said, do you not have to give your employee a pen, a paper, and a desk, and a chair to sit at the desk? And he said, absolutely, it's company policy. So he said, well, in this office, it's not happening. I had to go out and buy a chair myself. He said, Sam, no, this is not. First of all, China Jiangsu Company will pay you back. He said, that's not the point. The point is you have to support your employees. And if you look around now, today, John is exactly the same person. He supports all his employees. It's like a family to him. And all of his suppliers, and the people that do business with him over the years. It's a sign of loyalty, connection, responsibility, and a collective effort, which it always is, a collective effort. And this is the same thing that Betuan was saying, basically to the world, that's how we will all survive, by friendship, by working together, by dedicating ourselves to each other like this, and staying loyal and strong together. And so we have, and so we remain. So I just want to thank you, John, for everything, and everybody at Beta Textiles, and all of the suppliers and the people from whom we benefited, and hopefully we have benefited you too. So, and I hope that this will last for a long, long time. And so we make very special textiles. Thank you so much for all of that, and just be well, and always we should be together.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot, and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, so put your hand in mine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot in days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. Of kindness yet for days of old lang syne.